Hello, my name is Luke Bonner, Senior Economic Development Advisor for the City of Sterling Heights, and welcome to Innovating Business. And for those of you listening to our podcast, we also appreciate you joining us today. We're with Steve Lemieux, the President of SRC Refrigeration. Steve, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. Why don't we get started by you telling us a little bit about SRC. Where did you come from, and give us a history on the company?
So Luke, SRC started in 1980. Two gentlemen started the company, Sykes and Rickert. That's where SRC comes from. They started out as actually taking care of the floral industry with their cooler needs. Since then, they expanded the company to serve a lot of different markets, and we started manufacturing shortly thereafter. We've been in Sterling Heights our entire history. I took over the company in 2009. We've grown leaps and bounds since then. We basically took everything that was great about the company for 30 years. We added lots of energy and talent, and we're happy to be where we are today, and we look forward to a very bright future.
So what would you say is the footprint from a national or international perspective? You ship nationally in the United States. Do you have any customers outside the United States, Canada, Mexico? And tell us a little bit of kind of how far and wide do you actually ship your refrigeration units?
Sure. It's a national market. We ship to every single state in the U.S. We also ship to Canada and Mexico and the surrounding islands in the Caribbean or on the west side. We do a lot of business in Hawaii and also Guam. So we're an international company. We have shipped to China. Some American companies, specifically automotive companies, wanted some American-made products for testing in China. So we did ship environmental units to China.
Okay. So let's talk about the product a little bit. Company started with doing refrigeration units for the floral industry. That was back in 1980. Mm-hmm. A lot's changed since then. So tell me sort of the first set of products and markets that you guys are actually in now with your products.
Sure. That's what makes it fun. We deal with, you name it, tons of different markets, anywhere from floral and food to chemical processing, funeral homes. We also do things like blood banks, any type of environmental chamber. We also work with growing facilities, and of course, gas stations and convenience stores. Every corner has 2 or 3 gas stations and convenience stores, and those are a great market for us.
So tell me, I guess one of the more interesting clients, or maybe one of the more interesting locations that your refrigeration units are in, or and second to that, where would somebody maybe expect to see one of your units locally that is yours, and you kind of corner that market, but people don't pay attention to who's actually supplying the unit itself, where you can point to it and say, yeah, our units are in, all of those facilities.
Sure, absolutely. Probably the most fun unit that we've got out there, Lake Cumberland, there's a floating convenience store. It's literally on a boat, and they will come up and people will dock up to them and go in and buy beverages, and I'm sure beer and pop and all kinds of things, and that's an SRC cooler on one of those barges. Some of the more interesting things, as you go up I-75 in Michigan, a lot of rest areas have the jerky outlets and a lot of different beer caves and things where people buy beer going on vacation. A lot of those are SRC units.
So in terms of innovation, you're in multiple markets, let's say, right now. But what else have you guys been doing recently in terms of putting your toe in the water to sell different products to different customers?
Sure. The craft brewing industry has gone absolutely bananas in the last 3 to 4 years. So we've partnered up with a lot of different people in that industry and come up with some great products. So not only for their cold rooms, for the storage, for their production facilities and their tap rooms, we've also come up with some mobile units. We've started a division called Motor City Growlers, and we've created a totally self-contained mobile craft beer dispensing unit. It can be made custom in any size, and basically what it is it's a large version of a keg dispensing refrigerator. It'll go anywhere from 6 to 12 taps. They weigh between 400 and 700 pounds. They're 8 foot tall and between 4 and 7 feet wide. And basically what it is it's mobile. So these craft brewing people want to take these things and move them around. They also want to take them with them to festivals. They want to use them at shows. So we've designed this unit to be able to do that. You can roll it through any doorway, set it up in a matter of about 30 minutes, and have a very nice size craft dispensing unit. And it's made with all the best stuff. So all stainless steel beer equipment on the inside, barrier tubing, all the great stuff that we've learned about how to serve craft beer, we've implemented into the unit.
So speaking of that, how different would it be to serve a craft beer industry versus maybe some of the traditional industries, in terms of the actual equipment and process that you use?
Well, they care very much about quality and the taste of their beer. So everything that we do has to be very well controlled, anywhere from the temperature of all the units to, as I stated, everything that touches the beer needs to be stainless steel and done properly. We also make sure that these new craft beer plants tend to start small and they tend to expand. So we'll design them a unit with the future in mind. So they may want to have so many barrels of beer stored in the beginning, and then they'll want to expand. Let's say they want to expand 50% in 2 years. We'll make sure that our unit is sized properly and that it's designed properly so we can extend that unit 2 years later.
Okay. Tell us about the people. Tell us about the people at SRC. So you've got a lot of stuff going on. You've got engineering, right? You've got machining, you've got assembly, and then you've got distribution. But tell us a little bit how your team plays a role from start to finish in terms of designing and then shipping out one of these products.
Sure, absolutely. Well, we've become experts at mass customization. That's really what we're known for. So a lot of companies have a standard system or a standard cooler that they'll sell. Ours is exactly to your specs, and we do it in the same time with the same costs as most of our competitors. But it's custom. You don't have to buy a standard unit off the shelf. So everyone in our company is driven towards exceeding customers' expectations and to be responsive. So as we first got going with I call it our new team, we actually have a lot of people that have celebrated more than 20 years with the company that are still with us.
That's great.
But the new team is those folks combined with a lot of new talent. And we took and we said, okay, where does the customer touch us? And we looked at those customer touch points. We broke each one of them down, and we said, okay, we're going to take each one of those points and make sure that the customer experience is better than they expected. We went through and looked at all the processes that generate those customer touch points and improved them. So be it that there's 10 operations that have to happen before a customer touch point, we took each one of those and simplified it and streamlined it. So we have some really aggressive targets for our team. So our team says, okay, if someone touches our company, we're going to come back to them with a full design and quote in 4 hours.
Wow.
Now, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
so
that's aggressive.
engineering has to be responsive. Salespeople have to be responsive. We may have to use logistics and customer service to help get some interesting things taken care of so that when we commit to that quote in 4 hours, we're committing to that quote. If they buy it 3 months later, we still commit to our numbers, commit to our delivery times, and all that has to happen. So it takes everyone to be very focused and work together. Be it from quote, then once you sell a project, a whole nother group takes over, and we have what's called a commercial kickoff, where our sales team, their goal is to hand it over to the rest of the team so that they can execute. And in the execution phase, one of our goals is that a customer never has to contact us and ask us, hey, what's the status of my project? In the beginning, we had that happen a few times, and we actually treat it like a quality issue. So the customer says, hey, when's a certain piece of equipment supposed to show up? We go back and backtrack. Why did the customer have to call us and ask us that question? And that really helped us. We got a lot of great feedback. Customers actually feel like they're very well informed or almost over-informed about the status of their project.
So you've talked about commitment to the customer, the team, and sort of your process and your quality. So all of those things, I mean, obviously require a major commitment from you all the way down to the bottom level of the process, which has an effect on the company's culture, obviously. So in terms of, and you talked about having employees that have been there for 20 years. Mm-hmm. So in terms of the culture of SRC, what would you say is one of the best things about the company culture that really everybody has bought into and that you like to promote for new hires or just keeping people happy more than anything else?
Absolutely. I think the first thing is that the answer is usually yes. 99.9% of the time when we get asked, if we can do something, the answer is yes. We might not know how to do it when we say yes, but we will figure it out. We look for people that are very energetic. They might bring a different skill set. Now, you're not going to find people in the Metro Detroit area that have designed and built walk-in coolers before. It's few and far between, but they know something, and they have a talent set that they'll bring in, and we'll hook that up with the people that have been there 20 years making coolers, and they'll come up with better ways to do it. So it's very interesting. When we used to talk about innovation, people say that, well, you have this new technology no one's ever seen before, that's innovation. Well, we really believe that innovation happens every day, and it happens on a micro level. So every process, every little piece, how something fits together, you can always make improvements on it. And if you really weave that into the culture, I think people will innovate every day. And all of a sudden you turn around and you've gotten so much better than 3 months before that you didn't really realize you were doing it. So one of the goals that we have as we talk is that we want to be just a little bit better today than we were yesterday, and then we're going to do it again tomorrow. So people that come with energy and they want to do that, they want to be a part of that team, those are the people that fit well at our company.
And a lot of people, when they think about innovation, they think about product innovation. But you've got a team that is clearly thinking about customer service innovation, process innovation, so that how do you continue to get better every single day that ultimately is going to help you sell more product, to the end customer.
Absolutely.
So that's actually a lot of fun to hear, and a little bit of different twist on innovation than what you normally hear. So there's a lot of moving parts in a refrigeration unit. Probably a lot of components, a lot of process, that sort of thing. But let's talk about your supply chain a little bit.
Sure.
With all of those moving parts and components that go into building one of your units. Being in Michigan and even being in Macomb County, there are so many manufacturing companies, from small components to sheet metal fabricators to tool and die. Do you find an advantage overall in terms of what you guys are doing to source your supply chain, being an advantage in Michigan? And do you guys have a commitment to actually buying from Michigan suppliers?
Yes, we do. Michigan made is something that we try to keep. We do subsource suppliers locally as much as we possibly can. There are some things that we have to get out of state, but we appreciate our partners. Sterling Heights is a great place to do business. The community is very tight. We help each other out. We source things. It's a great network. I do come from automotive also, so I've got all those contacts locally that I'll give you an example. So when I first got to the company, someone said, well, how strong are your panels? How strong are your boxes? Well, I come from a company that used to make crash protection parts. So we ran some FEA analysis through one of the people that I knew that's in Michigan that can do that. One thing that really is tough about our industry is that our Michigan customers don't necessarily, or customers in Michigan don't necessarily know that we're here. So you may have a unit get shipped in here from out of state. Likewise, we're shipping to Hawaii or Alaska. So our competitor has a box that's sold that's 5 miles from my plant, but I'm shipping stuff, to all the other states. So our goal is to try to really let people know that we're here, advertise more in Michigan, and let them know that we're trying to make sure that we keep Michigan-made products in our product, and we'd like to help Michigan businesses grow our business that way.
Great. Well, Steve, we love the fact that you're in Sterling Heights, a manufacturing company that's doing something very cool and unique, and for the most part, you've captured the market. I also like the standpoint that you've come from the automotive industry, so you've taken a lot of sort of process improvement, quality control type of opportunities and applied it, to this manufacturing sector, and it seems like it's helped out quite a bit in terms of seeing probably increase in profits and increase in market share, and definitely customer service and quality. So we can't thank you enough, and continued success, and we look forward to working with you in the future.